Hello, my friends. Just here, popping in today. First painting of the year 2026. And I'm just gonna do a little seascape at night. Um, Very simple colors. Have some maroon, mauve, if you will, magenta, some blue, dark green, a little white, a little black. And we're just gonna start. Get a fan brush. Get just a little of that maroon, and I'm gonna thin it a little bit. I'm just gonna dip it in my pouring medium there. I'm just gonna work some of that color onto the canvas. It's a little brighter because of that mixing fluid, because it's white, not acrylic pouring fluid. But as it dries, this magenta will get dark. Even I want to leave some of that black around the edge, just not a whole heck of a lot. Leaving some of that, leaving a little texture in the sky, not a whole lot. Right now, this is just sort of putting in our little base layer of color. Go ahead and take our 2-inch brush here. I probably 1.5. Let's soften it out a little bit. There'll be a few little areas in here where it looks like I had some paint left in this fan brush from the previous use. I didn't like it out. Take the palette knife, go in there and scrape it off. And remember, I said we're just getting this color on right now. We don't need texture, so not gonna harm anything if we end up scraping some of the paint off. So as long as we get those little texture crunchables out. Okay, let's go ahead and go back in and soften that back out now. Get a different fan brush here. Go into our blues, and again, get some of that there. And again, I know that blue looks really, really bright right now, but that's the pouring medium that we have mixed into thin it some. Dries, it'll darken right up. This one we're gonna put little shapes in and try to match the top and the bottom, so it doesn't gotta be perfect, but we want the hint of like a little reflection going on. Go ahead and take that same brush, clean most of the magenta out. Go in, soften up that blue, pull out any texture. Okay, and I get that fan brush. I had the blue. green in there now. The green I am going to add a little white, brighten it up some, and then fill in medium. That might be a little too bright. More want it bright, kind of right in the middle there. So we'll have to do that. Make sure we're covering up the entirety of the black in the center there. And again, kind of mirror the shoe. Go ahead. Brush some of that blue out. And again, very softly. Pull over it. Don't get rid of all the shapes. You want to blend that in. Blend that out some. Blend it in. That makes no sense. Blend that out. Blend that green, blue. Let's get our 3-inch brush we have here. Down on the edge of that blue and that magenta. Go ahead and give her some of that. Go ahead and right in the middle here. Okay, now that we got that flat, let's go back to our fan brush. Take a little magenta, a little white. Just put a few little shapes. A little thinner in there too, why not? That might be a little too bright. Let's get a little more. Let's darken that up with a little more magenta. How about it? There we go. And very gently with that 3-inch brush. Just barely touching your canvas because you don't want to ruin. You don't want to blend it in completely. You just want to smooth it out. So smooth out a little more down here in this section in the water. The water's going to be okay. Fan brush to clean it off again. Now we can get a little blue. And again, we'll add a little bit of our titanium white to it. Just a touch. Just a touch of that. A few little blue highlights here and there. Not too much. We're not going super detailed on this guy here. I just kind of want to set a little bit of a mood. Not doing a reflection of that one. We go right here, so it's just about where the water line should be. And a 3-inch brush again. Just barely touching the canvas. Just fluffing the edges on that water. Or, fluffing the edges on the clouds. Pulling them a little straighter in the water, of course. In the reflection. Okay. white into that green. End up some again. Let's actually get a little more green in there. All right. A few little wisps here and there, some green. And again, you know the drill. Soften the edge to leave the majority of the color intact. Pull it out a little more on the bottom. That doesn't quite match. Get another brush here with a fan brush, so we're gonna put a little more color there, a little more color there. Make it match a little better. What the heck? Let's go ahead and get that little floater in there. All right. I kind of like how that's looking now. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna take some black into the magenta. And go around the corners a little bit. Just so that, what's the word I'm looking for here? Basically, the gesso has a different gloss factor than the acrylic paint. Because the gesso prime canvas, I'm trying to say. And so if I don't do this and kind of go over these areas, then it's going to look a little strange how this area doesn't have much glass, whereas the middle of the canvas does. And of course, you know, when we're done painting in a couple days, when we let it dry out, and we varnish it, and varnish will pull the values even closer. But this is just to make sure that things match. A little more black in there. There we go. Go ahead and go in with a 3-inch brush again along the edge. Along the edge, you gotta smooth that edge out some, fluff it. Make it match. Not match. Blend. Make it blend. There we go. Sorry, haven't painted in a while. Forgot some of my terminology. It's been a rough winter, mental health wise, but it's early March now. Days are getting longer. I'm getting a little more sun. I'm feeling better. Coming out of my creative cave. Okay. Now let's go ahead down here in the water. Take some of this black. You know where our water line is. Put a little bit of shade in it. Get the shaded parts in and put the highlights in after. We want this to be a fairly calm sea. So we're not doing a whole lot. Maybe just small little waves here and there. But nothing major. Have them kind of fall apart. There's not going to be any breaks or giant swells, anything like that. We're just bit of shadow, and we'll put our highlight in. And I like, personally, I like putting the shadow over the highlight because in nature, light creeps into darkness. Darkness is just the absence of light. So I feel like it's better to do darkness first and then kind of have the light almost conquering it. Get a little white in there. Since we're in the green part of the sea here, that's the color. Putting over these. Same here. That's our light above. Okay. Clean the brush. Get a little white into that blue again. Warm that up just some. Blue part of the sky there, so a little bit of blue on the waves. Clean most of that out. Now we'll get some magenta. Now here on the edge, I'll get magenta on top of those waves. I'm gonna get a little bit of that magenta down here too. And we can take our palette knife, roll a little black, and just put a few little lines here and there. Nothing too much. Fairly clumsy, I want to portray. All right, we got our sea reflected in there now, and we got our sky. I'll clean that knife off some. I gotta get a little more black. Let's go ahead. Yeah, you know what? Just based on the color, what I think would look cool in here. I'm gonna put ship. Sailing ship. Carve it in. I'll leave a little light peeking through like some rotten wood. You want this part mainly black though. Our source of light is in the sky behind us, so get a smaller brush. Not you. Smooth that out some. I want some of that light poking through there. Right, of course we'll deal with the shadow when we get there. We gotta get some masks going on this fella. Actually, before we even worry about that, get the bow coming out here. Make it look rough. Maybe there's some moss growing off of it, or tangled from a bird nest. This ship is... It's seen better days. Alright, now we can get some masts in there. I mean... right up into the shadow, maybe that one even comes right to the top. Back here doesn't go. This one won't go quite all the way to the top. But again, it's in rough shape. Let's get one more in the back here. Okay, so we got that. Now we need torn up sails. Hanging on for dear life. There's just not even a whole lot of them on there, if we're being honest. I feel like there probably shouldn't be. So, scraps hanging down here and there. Alright, that tells me we need another section there. Yeah, that knife isn't going to work too well for the rigging lines, I think, because it'll make them too sharp. I want them a little loose, since obviously this vessel has seen better days. Put a little curvature to them. Some of them aren't even there anymore. We can add a little more scraps. See, get these and make them even rougher in shape than they already are. Not much left. Again, boat. Seen better days. Scrap up the flag up there, fluttering. few more little rigging lines on there. All right. Now we can start putting this reflection, shadow, whatever you want to call it. Start putting that on here. You want a little color from the water peeking through our shadow, though. This one for the mass, I'm gonna scrape him in with this guy. Again, so we get a little peaks of the color. Reflected sky breaking through. All right, now we can, let's see. Right there. There. Go ahead and get our lines in. All right, don't worry about the lines too much. I'm gonna try to get our reflection from the masts in there. And again, we don't want it perfect. Water, there is a little motion to it. A little more in here, though. Probably right on the boat line. It should be pretty solid. And all right, I feel like, as far as first paintings of the year go, that one ain't bad. I'm going to get my palette knife and clean the black off. Maybe just here and there. Just scrape a little of that shade off. Get some sharper lines from the color underneath peeking through. All right. That was very gently in the water here. Black is. Very gently pull over that reflection, shadow, whatever you want to call it, in the water. All right. With that, I think I'm going to call this one just about done. Just about, not quite. Just for the edges, a little sharp. Get a little black and maroon mix on the corner. I need more black in there, don't I? There we go. Get a swirl going along the edge there. Maybe even make it look almost like a little bit of a mist. No, it's not what it is. We know that. this just to smooth that edges out, the edges out of there some. Almost like there's an eye opening up on this scene. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's work a little magenta in there. And just on a corner here. Yeah. I like how that looks. Well, you can do the same up here. Almost like there's just a storm opening up just enough for this ghost ship to be peeking through. And with that, I do believe I'm gonna call this one done. This one I do something quick with only a few colors to get over my slump, and I think I did, and I like how this looks for a quick and dirty little piece. So we'll be back soon with another painting, a little more involved. Hope you enjoyed watching me paint. If you were watching hoping to learn something, then I hope you did. If you're just watching to relax, then I hope I did the trick. Like I just said, we'll be back soon with another painting. Hope you have a great day and an even better one tomorrow. Goodbye.